Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to round 14 of the East Coast V8 series, coming to you tonight from the one and only Winton Motor Raceway, located down in northeastern Victoria, not far away from Albury-Wodonga, so it's down the road. Big shout out to Troy Sipple watching tonight, going for Timmy, going for Timmy Nickel, and Jamie McKnight quick on the chat as well. So let's have a quick look at this track here at Winton. So of course, updated a few years ago from the what's known as the club circuit to the national circuit. So we start on the Kidhome Straight, head down into the Motorsport News S's. Quite a tricky little combination with a left-right, up the hill on the BP Ultimate Straight, into Honda Corner, downhill into Nissan Corner, down Footweight Straight, and then we come rolling around through Rollover Corner, past the skid pan through Turn 5, of course, into Penrite, and then we come down through what's known as Gumtree, and then we come up to Kidhome Corner, and then down the Shannon Straight, and then the tight left-hand corner to take us down Faulkner Straight, and then through Advanced Petroleum Corner, through Turn 12, back onto the main start-finish straight. It is a very short circuit, only 2.99 kilometres, 12 turns. No official iRacing times have been lodged here yet, so I can't tell you who's the fastest and who's the slowest. What I can tell you, though, is that our times for tonight are quite close, which I'll come to that in a minute. We'll have a quick look at the championship standings. So a quick look at the championship standings. We've got, after 13 rounds, now note that the drop rounds have been taken out here. Corey Mcfarlane on 1937, clear leader, ahead of Todd Hayne on 1859. Not far behind his teammate Hayden Harrison on 1818. Warboys on 1804. Whiting on 1803. Adam Hayne then comes in at 1759. Chastity at 1726. Andrew Ritchie at 1657. Harrison Dengate at 1641. And Scotty McHugh from HSR rounding out the top 10 on 1627. Then we've got Daly, McKnight, Johnson, Archer, Gore, Christian Smart, Paul Young, Brady Baldwin, Damien Cairns, Nicholas Loveridge, Roy Clark sitting in 21st. Great effort from Roy. Darren Shannon in 22nd. Warren Davis. Joshy Drage back tonight in 24th. Michael Dumbrell in 25th. So we've got quite a few drivers, all still fairly close in contention as we battle it out in our championship, of course, with only 2 rounds to go, so getting very tight. Sorry, 3 rounds to go with tonight, so getting very tight as we head forward. So we'll have a quick look now at the qualifying times, and on pole we have our championship leader, Corey Mcfarlane, with a 1 minute 18.162, followed by Blake Warboys with a 1:18.283, followed by Harrison Dengate from WK&P with a 1:18.640. Michael Whiting with 1:18.7. Paul Young 1:18.752. Very tight there. And then the tight times continue with McKnight in 6th. And with McKnight in 6th with a 1:18.818. With Chastity right behind him with a 1:18.834. Damien Johnson 8.46. And then round out our top 10, we've got Chris Island with an 8.79 and Damien Cairns an 8.96. So very tight times between 4th and 10th there, not to mention the quick times as we head up into 1, 2 and 3. Big news from tonight though, starting rear of grid due to not setting a time in qualifying. We have Todd Hayne and Adam Hayne, Joe Daly, Fishy's Dave Coleman, Luke Holland from Taipan, and Brenton Hobson, but I'm not sure if Brenton's jumped in the server or not. So Brenton, one of the regular OSR Scops drivers from SSR, so it'll be interesting to see if Hobbe turns up. And that is qualifying. So the big talking point tonight, of course, is going to be the fact that we have a 100-lap race around Winton Motor Raceway, and we've got 60% fuel on board, which means it's going to be a 3-stop race. Plenty of strategy and it's also going to be a race, I think, that's going to have potentially some safety cars, but we're also going to be left with, I believe, the boys having to fight their way through the paddock, and there's going to be plenty of overtaking of lap traffic, plenty of overtaking taking of other cars, and it's not an easy place to overtake. That's my wrap of the circuit, my wrap of the scores. How are you, Mark?
Hey John, how are you?
Good, mate. We've got about 5 minutes to go before these boys hit the track. As I was saying, we're in for a big one tonight. It's going to be tough going, I think, for these guys doing 100 laps around here.
It's going to be really tough for them. It's a track that requires 100% focus 100% of the time.
Yes, it is. And a big shout out to Mary Partridge, Harrison's grandmother. Harrison's on starting from third tonight, so that's going to be a cracking effort to see how he goes. Hopefully he'll get a good start and be right in it from the word go.
Is Harrison in the Mustang again?
I believe so. That was the talk last night when he was doing qualifying. Yeah, he's in the Mustang again. So obviously it's rubbing off on him. He's been doing a lot of work on practicing his starts too over the last few weeks. So he's hopefully going to get off the line and be well and truly in this. He's improved a fair bit in the last few weeks, young H. And here he is doing another practice start.
Yeah, like I was saying, John, this track requires 100% focus. 100%.
It's the end of the time. That's exactly right.
It's not going to be an easy night for anyone tonight.
No, I wouldn't envy being these boys. It was like we did 67 laps, I think it was, in vets, and yeah, you definitely were buggered at the end of it.
Also,
I think your mic's cutting in and out again there, Mark. Anyway, we have 3 minutes before we get going. And I think these boys starting at the back are going to make this very interesting as well. Of course, Todd Haynes sitting very high in the championship, coming second at the moment. Looking forward to seeing how the Hayne brothers go coming through. Oh, big spin in front of him there. Yeah, it's also a track we've got to be careful not to drop a wheel off as well, because dropping a wheel off, no, we'll see you spin. There's plenty of room to spin off that won't bring out the safety car. And Timmy Nichols back tonight, racing for Pecky Performance Racing, so it'll be good to see how Timmy goes. Always presents a great looking livery, the boys at Pecky's.
yeah, I'm not sure what's going on with my mic there, John. I've had it on charge, so it shouldn't be the battery.
That could be my end. Yeah, so I think with these Hayne boys starting up the back, I think we're going to be in for a real cracker as well. I think it's going to be these guys. This track does not promote overtaking, and I reckon it's going to be an absolute struggle.
Yeah, it's going to be hard for them to show patience tonight because, yeah, it's a very frustrating place when you're stuck behind someone.
Absolutely, and I think with War Boys in too, it's a big opportunity for for Blake to get himself back up into the top 3 of the championship, and not really going to be easy, I think, for those other boys a bit further back. And of course, Corey setting another cracking qualifying time. Our champion-elect, I'm going to start to call him now because I think he's going to be almost unbeatable in the series. Just showing some great form. As we come into the last 20 seconds before we grid up. So the boys doing their last minute preparations. And not long now. And let's have a look at the grid for tonight's race. As we flick over, we've got Corey Mcfarlane from Senate Sim Sports on P1 with Blake Warboys on the other side of the grid from WK&P. Harrison Dengate from WK&P in third, with Michael Whiting from Fishy in fourth. Paul Young from PRA in fifth. Jamie McKnight from SSR in sixth. James Chastity from Emu Racing in seventh. Damien Johnson from SSR in eighth. Ninth, we have Chris Island from Senate Sim Sports. 10th, we have Taipan's Damien Clark. 11th, we have Pecky Performance's Timmy Nichols. 12th, we have WK&P's Ash Barella. Great result from Ash to qualify so high up. And then we have Nathan Gore from Sendit in 13th. Warren Davis from PRA in 14th. Andrew Ritchie from Emu in 15th. Scotty McCune from HSR in 16th. And Sean Rigby in 17th. Andrew Archer in 18th. Darren Shannon in 19th from Emu, Roy Clark from PRA in 20th, Matthew Munday from Fishy in 21st, Braden O'Loughlin from Frog Leap Juice Racing in 22nd, and then Toddy Hayne, Adam Hayne, both from Taipan Esports in 23 and 24, and then 25 I've got Joe Daly from Sendit Sim Sports, Josh Drage from WK&P in 28, and Taipan Esports, Luke Holland in 27. With 29th, Richie Barella rounding out the field. But Richie Barella, of course, is our safety car driver tonight. So it's good to see Richie back behind the wheel. As the rain starts bucketing down here. Bring up a few extra boxes. And notice Warboys has not taken the grid yet, so not sure what's going on there. Steve wants to see Luke Holland's car. We'll get to that one. And there's Warboys in the Anzac livery, which we'll have a bit of a look at later. A bit of a story behind that related to our safety car driver. And we should be about to go green racing here. And the field is gridding. 1 red, 2 red, 3 red, 4, 5. Lights out. We're away. Great start from Corey Mcfarlane. A little bit slow by Blake Warboys. Harrison Dengate looking up the inside. It's going to be very interesting. Does Harrison put a move on early? No, he backs out of it. Under a little bit of pressure now from Michael Whiting, but Corey Mcfarlane gets off with a great jump. And Dengate being swamped in the background there by Whiting, by the looks. Whiting getting the pass done. Coming into Honda. And now we settle into the race. And I think we've gotten through relatively cleanly, which has been good. I think we've got one car that didn't get away. Nathan Gore, I think, is back in the pit lane, so I'm not sure what happened to Nathan. As we come up into Kidholm Corner for the first time with our 100 circuits. Going to be a long race.
That was a great jump from Corey, and him and Blake have already cleared out from the rest of the pack at the moment, so it's going to be interesting to see if Michael can close down on Blake a little bit.
Definitely a long way with 100 laps. They're all still fairly well bunched up, which is good. I don't think we've had the big accident that we were all worried about in the first two corners at the start. Blake definitely keeping the pressure on Corey here a little bit.
Yeah, Blake's done a good job to reel him in.
And they're all still very well bunched up further back of rear, these two. Might jump back and have a quick look at Michael Whiting. So Michael Whiting under a lot of pressure from Dengate, Young, McKnight, Johnstone and Island. So Johnston and Island are both up one spot, so both getting past James Chastaneuf. And Blake Warboys setting a faster lap than Corey last time round. And let's have a quick look. Blake definitely keeping the pressure on. Looking very calm and relaxed, but I've got a feeling something's wrong with the camera again.
Sure if the two spinning squares mean he's dizzy or?
Not sure. We're not having much luck with that, are we? We'll have to try something different. Anyway, Blake and Corey definitely going toe to toe here, which is great to see. Plenty of tightly packed up cars all through the field here, which is quite good to see. We might just quickly jump back and have a look at a few of these rear grid guys. So Lukey Holland's up one spot. Doing reasonably well. And that one's for you, Steve. Got to see where Luke is. Todd Hayne has worked his way up 4 spots already in the 19th. So that's a reasonable start. Josh Drage has had a crash. We'll come back to that. And Adam Hayne has also made his way up 7 spots. So the Hayne boys doing reasonably well. Off to a good start. Joe Daly coming through up 4 spots in the 21st. So might have a quick look what happened to Josh Drage. Go to tailor-made replay. So coming in the rollover corner, a bit of a tap there. It's definitely spun. I think the other guy's continued on his merry way, so he might have got away with that one, I think. As we go back to live pictures. And these two have broken out now. They've got a gap over Michael Whiting with 4 seconds. Absolutely flying. Michael Whiting in third. He's still under a fair bit of pressure from Harrison Dengate, Paul Young, Jamie McKnight. And then the rest of the trains, Chastanoof, Ireland and Cairns. And then we've got a little bit of a gap back from Cairns to 11th, where we pick up Timmy Nichols, who's under pressure from Ash Barella. Warren Davis from PRA's in there, and Scotty McCune and Sean Rigby as well. So the boys haven't really spread out very much yet. They're all sort of still running in fairly tight battle packs, which is great to see.
Yeah, I guess the motivating thing about this track is you can see your opponent, whereas some tracks, they spread out so far you kind of lose track of where everyone is.
Yeah, it's one of those great things about these smaller country-style tracks. And of course, you come into Honda Corner, I always get reminded of Paul Morris and Tony Longhurst growing up as a kid. Never forget the footage of that one and the commentary from Darryl Eastlake. Definitely showing out my age now.
Darryl Eastlake now, that really made me feel old.
I'll never forget the fun they had in the BMWs coming into Honda. And them getting out of the car for the big don't argue. I've always said with motorsport, I don't think the smartest thing in the world to do is punch someone in the head with a helmet on.
No, that's when sportsmen were less sanitised than what they are these days. But some good racing back in the day, and we got good racing these days. So no complaints from me.
No, I'm not complaining either. Of course, Jamie McKnight doing well tonight. He's still in 6th spot, hanging on in the middle of this train. So I did say that the qualifying times were all very tight, so this is sort of reflecting a little bit as well, I think, with the way these boys are driving. Blake Warboys just had an off track. I might just have a quick look at that. What happened there? Oh, caught it. Wow. We might just replay that one more time. He got it airborne coming out of the curb and then across the grass. Managed to get control of it. Wow. And now, of course, that's allowed Corey to get away by 1.5 seconds.
That was a good catch in the end.
I don't know how he caught it, to be honest. Yeah, that curbing coming out of turn 3 there, it's a real gotcha if you don't get it right. As you can see, you can use most of it. If you use too much, the car will get airborne. And we might go back to the Michael Whiting battle for third. So Michael Whiting basically about 0.5 seconds up the road from Harrison Dengate. Paul Young sitting just behind him by about 0.7 of a second. So these guys definitely in a great battle, and this battle sort of goes all the way back to about 14th. Oh, sorry, goes all the way back to about, Ashborough now within a second, so we'll say 14th. So that's pretty amazing after 8 laps. The boys are all still tightly bunched.
Yeah, this is a real mental grind now. This is just knuckle down, hit your marks every lap. Don't worry about times. Don't worry about position. It's just stay on track and just hopefully the guy in front will make that minor mistake.
Then Gate missed his apex, which allowed Whiting to get away a bit, and Young's now closed right up on him.
Definitely no driver in the series I don't think is consistent as Michael Whiting. He's just constantly there in the top 5.
Yeah, he's been Mr. Consistent all season. Like that sort of reflects. Let's quickly have a look what's going on here. Josh Strage having a bit of a run in the gravel there, by looks. Looks like he's got it back under control. Go back to Paul. Sorry, Mark.
Yeah, no, I was just saying Michael Whiting has been so consistent this season and showing again tonight that his racecraft and his mindset is spot on.
Oh, look, it's just to be consistent in this series and be consistently getting top 5s like he has been is really a hats off effort, because it's a bloody tough field. Nobody takes a backward step in this league. War Boys has caught back up to Mcfarlane again. We might jump up there and have a look. They're slowly grinding him back in. After the catch he had before. So these two now have gotten out to a lead of 6.5 seconds on Michael Whiting, just showing the pace that these young blokes have. And then Michael Whiting sitting in third has a train of about 10 cars behind him, all within close proximity. As we're now on lap 11. I'll be looking at about anywhere between lap 20 to 27 for the first fuel stop. So with 3 stops in this race, it's going to be definitely a strategy game. And we might just jump back. Damien Johnson, how he's getting on. So you can see this long train of cars that we've been talking about earlier. And we might jump on for a lap. As you can see, you don't get much time to get a break. You don't get much time where you're not adjusting throttle, adjusting steering, adjusting braking. It is a very tough, tight little track. Not much room to overtake. No clear overtaking places to do it. But these boys trying to get the job done. Michael Whiting from Fishing Motorsport sitting in third here. A lot of pressure off from behind. Cool as a cucumber.
Yeah, lots of guys doing great work tonight. Paul Young doing an excellent job as well. Jamie McKnight, good to see him back well inside the top 10. James Chastaneuf also doing a great job. Adam Haynes up 7 spots. David Coleman's up 7 spots. Luke Holland's up 5 spots. Todd Hayne up 5 spots. You know, that's a really difficult job on a track like this.
Oh, definitely. These boys, we're at lap 14 now, so the tyres will be starting to go off a little bit. Mid-session on that fuel load. In this back section of the circuit, it's very hard to push and hustle. You've really got to just let the car go through.
It's definitely not a track that was built for V8 supercars.
Nah, definitely not.
Harrison Dengate making up a little bit of ground on Michael Whiting, so that'll be interesting to keep an eye on.
Yeah, H doing quite well here. He qualified third, so he's a little bit disappointed that he dropped the spot, I think, at the start, but put his head down and keep going. He understands the concept of a long race. And at 16 to be racing against some of these guys with the amount of experience they've got, it's been great to see Harrison develop and grow very quickly. And yeah, he's starting to get a lot quicker as well, which is interesting to see how much he can push forward over the next couple of seasons.
Yeah, I'll be very interested to come back in a year's time and see where Harrison is, because once he's got another year under his belt, he's going to be super, super quick and super competitive and super reliable and not making some silly mistakes that he has made in the past. And it's going to be very interesting to see if he's going to be one of the ones everybody else is chasing.
Oh, I'd have to say that you're probably on the money there, Mark. He's starting to do the same thing in karting as well. He's starting to really develop into a very handy driver. And I know the work that Ryan and Blair have been putting in with him, it's definitely starting to pay some dividends. And we might just have a little bit further back. Damien Johnson's putting a lot of pressure on Jamie McKnight now. And of course, Chasty's sitting at the back of this pack as well.
Now there's a contrast, isn't it? Harrison Dengate and Jamie McKnight, all that experience Jamie's got, and he's one of them guys that can just wear you down through not making any mistakes.
Just consistency. Jamie's ability not to get flustered early on in a race as well, I think is quite remarkable.
Absolutely, and his strategy is always spot on.
Chris Hyland's in the pits, but I'm not sure. Chris Hyland's had an incident. Let's have a quick look on the replay. We'll just see. Might be just his pit lane entry, I think. Looking at where he's on the track here. Yep, that's all it is. Nice to know. Yep, nothing wrong with that. That's DK telling me there was a crash. And of course, Michael Whiting still under a fair bit of pressure from Dengate. And we might just have a bit of a look a bit further down the pack. We've got Ash Barella running in 12th. Then behind Ash, we've got Andrew Ritchie. Andrew Ritchie's under a lot of pressure from Sean Rigby. And followed by Sean Rigby, we've got Scotty McHugh from HSR. So Scotty having a great little battle here. And then sitting behind Scotty, we've got the Hayne train with Todd and Adam. So Toddy and Adam have worked their way up to 16, 17, which is a great effort. Dave Coleman behind them is up into 18th, up 8 spots.
Yeah, really not the track you want to pick for a real good start, is it?
No.
Credit to them, they turned up, they're doing a great job, and there's still a long way to go, so I expect to see them a lot further up than they are at the moment.
Exactly right. And I still would not be surprised if we start seeing some fatigue come in towards the end of the race and the potential of a safety car. They could be definitely show up at the end of this race quite high in the points. These boys having a ding-dong battle back here. Scotty McCune and Sean Rigby. Great to see some good little battles. And Barella goes off. Talking about making little mistakes, being costly. Might jump back up. Look how Michael Whiting's getting on. This is our battle for third, with Harrison Dengate in fourth, Paul Young behind in fifth. He's pulled away a little bit from Jamie McKnight now.
Just about to start lap 20, so I'm sure some of them are starting to think about their upcoming pit stop, and that's an easy time to be distracted and fall off the track around here.
Absolutely. Like I found that in the vets race. Scrolling through something like your black box to check the fuel was, nearly took a lap. By the time you scoot down one of these short straights, you don't really get time to change settings and process what you're doing.
Last time around, the boys at the front were still in the 19s, and everybody else on track is in the 20s and above.
Corey doing a sensational job, keeping that gap of about a second out to Blake still.
I think Blake will be very encouraged to still have Corey well within his sights, and after making that mistake and being able to peg him back, that's going to give Blake plenty of confidence, I think.
Oh, absolutely. Not to mention make a mistake like that and walk away with a straight car. So these boys now are out to a 12-second gap over Michael Whiting. So just league of their different league tonight, these guys.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see what happens once the pit stops roll around, just to see where different people come out on the track and whether anybody else has got some pace in the car that they can't show at the moment.
Oh, definitely for this group that's from 3rd down to 10th. There's a few quick name drivers in there. Mains now worked his way past Ashburella, so is Dave Combs. Roy Clark has had an incident. We might have a quick look at the tailor-made replay. What happened to Roy? Ooh. Thought about the move. Doesn't get it done. Nice tap. Poor old Matthew Monday rolls off the circuit there. Not good for Roy. Darren Shannon, of course, caught up in that one as well. And Corey Mcfarlane and War Boys are about to come up to their first lap traffic.
Who just happens to be Corey's teammate, Nathan Gore.
Corey ducks off into the pits. So Warboy's going the extra lap. So Corey in on lap 23. So slightly earlier than where I thought he would be with the strategy.
Yeah, quite possibly just wanting to circumvent being stuck behind a slower car for a lap or two, so maybe he figures, you know, he's better off taking his fuel and getting out in a clear spot and getting on with the job. Be interesting to see just where he pops out on track and who's around him.
Well, he's on his way out now. I noticed McKnight went in as well, so did Andrew Ritchie. So definitely out with clean traffic around him. So nicely slots out, big clean track in front. So might have been a good call on the strategy, like you were saying.
If only I called my own strategy right.
So Johnston and Cairns are in the pits as well now.
David Coleman's on the side of the track, just at the entry to pit lane by the look of it.
Yep. Not sure what happened there. Might as well go into pit lane instead.
He's just locked it up.
So Wallboys continues on. So is Whiting and Dengate, they've also both continued on as well, along with Paul Young.
Todd Haynes in front of Adam Hayne now, so I'm not sure if that was a mistake from Adam or whether they just made a tactical decision.
I missed that one. Lake Wallboys has gone into the pits now. Jesus, this gave me a hell of a fright. SDK, when people are going into the pits, is coming up with the red line crashed. So I got Wallboys crashed, and then it's like I entered the pits. Definitely wakes you up.
Yeah, I think, well, I use JRT and it gives me a yellow flag when people are going into the pits.
So interesting to keep an eye on Corey Mcfarlane here, and Adam Haynes, Sean Rigby, Scotty McKeon, Tim Nichols have gone in as well. Whiting and Dengate, where are they? Here comes Corey down the straight. And Wallboys hasn't even come off the jacks yet, so big win to Corey, I think, going in early. Huge win. Wallboys are 6 seconds behind, so I'm not sure what happened there. Unless something's happened in the pits.
Yeah, possibly, or he's taken on a bit more fuel and may go a bit deeper into the race.
Let's quickly jump up to Michael Whiting. So he's gone again. Looks like Dengate's gone in this time. Paul Young's continued and James Chastaneef's continued. Usually Steve stopping earlier affects Corey's tyres at the end of this stint. And Matthew Monday from Fishy's had an incident. We'll have a quick look what's happened there. And another one into the pits. Didn't show that early. Sorry about that. Let's go to our race leader, Michael Whiting. So Michael's going another lap again, so definitely doing well. Definitely under my fuel strategy numbers. So getting an extra lap out of the car.
Yeah, I went and reviewed Blake's entry to the pit lane and everything seemed good, but it's showing me that he was 3 seconds longer in the lane than Corey, so but their stationary time was pretty similar.
Oh, good drive by Corey. Like I said, he got the car out in clean air, and made the most of it. It's expected. Michael Whiting in, Paul Young to be in. Chastaneef should be in. No, he's going one more. So we have a new race leader, James Chastaneef. So Chasty going to work out the 29th lap. So some serious fuel saving there.
Yeah, so these boys going longer will take some medicine now and have to be a bit longer on the stop with fuel, but at the back end of the race they're going to have a little bit of time up their sleeve.
I think the big mover out of these pit stops is going to be Chris Island, I think. Clark heads into the pits. It's Chasty in, so Corey about to take over his rightful position as the leader.
Yeah, so Chris Island's had the quickest stop so far, so Chris may have taken on less fuel and decided he wanted track position, being such a difficult place to pass.
Corey, Mcfarlane is 5 seconds up, so Blake's taken a second and a half out of him so far in this stint. As we've got car 24, who's this? Matthew Monday coming off in turn 3. Let's just have a look at that from the replay. Not sure what happened there. He's got the car going again. Of course, if you are following along at home, don't forget to jump into the chat. Let us know who you're following and we'll give you an update on how they're going.
Chris Island's had an off at the end, coming onto the front straight there, at the end of the back straight.
Let's have a look at the replay.
Jamie McKnight fighting through some lap traffic.
Gets control, doesn't lose too bad there for Chris Island. And let's have a look at the People's Champion, McKnight. He's sitting in 4th spot now, so he'll be pretty happy there. Chris Island in front of him. Stopped car and track. Let's have a quick look here and just check. No, he's got it going again. Matthew Monday again. In the wars at the moment, poor Matthew. So jump back on Corey. So Warboys has now closed that gap down to 4 seconds.
Yeah, Bill, I was just looking at the lap times. Blake's doing a good job. He was 3.5 tenths quicker that last lap, so he's just chipping away, chipping away.
Jamie McKnight. Damien Johnson 1.6 seconds behind him. Chris Hyland in front of him. And got Nathan Gore, of course. The lap traffic sitting right behind. Of course, it's great to see the Send It Sim Sports boys supporting the East Coast Series. Entries are being taken now for Season 3 starting soon. If you are watching along, if you want to get involved, now's your opportunity.
Interesting, Harrison Dengate, Michael Whiting, Paul Young, all three of them lost 3 spots in that round of pit stop, so I'm sure they'll be scratching their heads wondering what went wrong there.
Yeah, definitely. They all went that 1 or 2 laps later than the guys in front of them though.
Harrison right on the back of Damien Johnson, so this is the old hand and the young hand.
Nice little bunny hop there from Damien as he comes across those curbs out of turn 3. Very careful not to lose it there. See the lap traffic getting out of the way there if Nathan Gore pulling over.
Yeah, great work from Nathan Gore. Tip me hat to that. That's good sportsmanship.
course, Jamie McKnight's still keeping all the pressure on Chris Island.
Yeah, well, Jamie. Sorry, John. Jamie had a podium in the Vets race at Winton last Thursday, so he's in good form here.
We've got a stopped car on track. Car 19. Who's that? Todd Haynes had an off in turn 1. So he's managed to get it going. It'd be a bit disappointing. Todd had been doing really well, working his way back through the field. And drops him back to 19th. Jamie with a couple of weeks away from the rig. Now getting back into it again. It's surprising that it takes 2 or 3 weeks to get back to the high performance level that he usually races at.
Yeah, absolutely. He's had to get a new PC because I think he's blew up this time last week and he ended up not racing. So he's bedded that down and he's in vintage form.
That's good to see. Definitely all over the back of Chris Island here. Adam Hayne making an unscheduled pit stop. Scotty McCune in a cracking battle here. 2 wide through Honda, 2 wide through Nissan. Battling away for Luke Holland. Luke getting the job done. It's great to see cracking battles further down in the field. Everyone driving really well tonight. Jump back up there. Battle for third. The interesting thing as well is that gap's now down to 3.5 seconds between Warboys and Mcfarlane.
Yeah, Blake's done a sterling job getting that gap to just a little more than half of what it was when they pitted. So that's great work from Blake.
Awesome drive.
Jamie applying the pressure to Chris Island, and that's allowed Damien Johnson to range back up on the back of Jamie McKnight as well.
This battle pack starting to close up again. So just to run through, we've got Mcfarlane in 1 and 3.5 seconds up the road from Blake Warboys, who's 17 seconds up the road from the man we're on screen at the moment, Chris Island. who's in a quite contest with McKnight, Johnson, Dengate, and then Michael Whiting, and then further 2 seconds up the road. We've got Paul Young, James Chastanoof, and then rounding out our top 10 is Damien Cairns. Andrew Ritchie's up 4 spots in 11th, Timmy Nichols in 12th, Sean Rigby in 13th, Joe Daly in 14th, Barella in 15th, Warren Davis having a great drive in 16th, Toddy Hayne in 17th, Luke Holland in 18th, Scotty McCune in 19th. So the boys starting up the back have really struggled to bash their way through, with Joe Daly up 11 spots in 14th is probably the best one from the rear grid starters.
Yeah, it's a great effort from Joe. Certainly not an easy place to gain 11 spots, that's for sure.
No, he's done very well. As we're 40 out of our 100 laps down.
Blake taking another 3/10 off Corey Mcfarlane on that lap, so he's really got some good pace in that Mustang tonight.
Just jump up, have a look up here. These boys here have really bunched this up for 3rd, 4th, 5th and 6th and 7th.
Yeah, a long way to go before this podium's decided tonight.
Definitely. So I've got another 2 stops to make. Just have a quick look at our pit strategies, just so we can see everyone's lay it out. So Chris Island did stop very early on lap 16. So he's gone 24 laps on these tyres. I think what we saw for the first round of stops, most blokes were going 27 to 29 laps. So it'll be very interesting to see how far Chris pushes this in. Of course, Wallboy's tyres are 3 laps younger than Mcfarlane's as he hunts him down.
Yeah, the top 2 are coming into some lap traffic. Corey's has made his way through. Interesting to see if it costs Blake any time.
Of course, Damien Johnson just got past Jamie McKnight there. Dengate doing a little bit of fuel saving where he can. Damien Johnson's now caught up with Chris Island. Chris Island's gone a little bit wide up here. Working his way. We might just go back to TV2. So these two squabbling are going to bring McKnight and Dengate along for the ride. And Warboys is now 2.5 seconds behind Corey Mcfarlane, so really reeling that gap in.
Yeah, I think you said it was 6 seconds or 6+ seconds when he came out of the pit. So that's an awesome job to bring that down.
Chris Island now under all sorts of pressure from Damien Johnson.
Yeah, Damien really applying the bellow torch now. But if you can park the car in the middle of the track and just keep it on the island, then it's almost impossible to get past here. Damien Johnson really wanting to prove me wrong.
It's definitely a couple of spots, but you've got to be extremely brave and hope the other bloke's a little bit nice to you. Anyway, that made life easy. Island's gone in early, like we said he had to. So that frees up Johnson now. Try and hold off McKnight and Dengate. Talk about a bloke that can keep it on the island, keep it in the middle. And Jamie McKnight. And of course, Michael Whiting starting to latch onto the back of this group as well now.
And Blake's got that lead under 2 seconds, so everybody's catching everybody tonight.
Might just jump up, have a look. And of course, Blake running the Anzac livery, the WK&P Anzac livery tonight. He's probably not going to be easy to get the right camera view to see it, but on the side of the car we've got a fitting tribute to Albert Barella, an Australian recipient of the Victorian Cross and grandfather of Richard Barella, our safety car driver. So yeah, he received the VC for action in the First World War in Villas, Bertrand Knox. Yeah, not good with my pronunciations. But yeah, so a bit of a fitting tribute for the Anzac Day commemorations.
Yeah, I had a look at that car when it was stationary on the grid. It looks fantastic, and yeah, what a fantastic tribute.
The text on the side is the actual citation. Yeah. Anyway, Blake's got this gap down now to 1.02 seconds, or under 1 second now. So he's definitely reeling Corey in. There's a few boys now starting to peel off for their second round of pit stops.
Yeah, going to be fascinating when Corey and Blake make their stops. Blake going a lot longer than Corey last time round. He's now reeled him in. So whether Corey's trying to do an enormous amount of fuel saving or Blake's just punting out good lap times, I'm not sure. But it's going to be interesting once it all plays out.
Oh, definitely. Definitely. Just a quick look at that fuel strategy again. So bring back the memory. So Corey went in on lap 22. Blake went in on lap 25. So Corey's now done 25 laps. Blake's 22. And we saw some guys were getting 28 to 29 laps out of the car. So I'd probably say Corey's got another lap, maybe two, before he has to stop. Of course, whilst we talk about it being a tight, twisty track, they do still reach some reasonable speeds. What really hurts though is these slow 90 to 80 kilometre turn as we have here in this back section of the circuit. Sort of see the old V8 just really doesn't get a chance to really stretch its legs.
Yeah, not at all around here. It's a real point and shoot, this one.
Yeah. And Corey peels off to the pits. And Ball Boys takes over the race lead. Duck back. Damien Johnston has pulled out a little bit now from Jamie McKnight. Jamie McKnight under a lot of pressure here. From Dengate. We've got a lap car and Joe Daly sitting behind there, and then Michael Whiting, the fourth car in the front. Joe Daly in the lapped car, getting a little bit antsy there, getting in the middle of the battle. Giving McKnight a bit of breathing space. And Corey's back out on track in 8th.
some good clear track in front of him, so time to knuckle down for Corey.
And that is Jamie McKnight off into the pits, along with Damien Johnston. Dengate now moves into second. Michael Whiting right on his heels. Of course, we've got War Boys 28 seconds up the road. It's a fair effort.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm just thinking about Blake's strategy. I probably would have pitted up the lap after Corey and been able to take on less fuel. And as I say that, Blake's gone into the pits and try and get track position on Corey with a little bit shorter fuel time.
Keep an eye on that one. We'll see how that one rolls out. In the meantime, Dengate and Whiting continue on their merry way. Just jump on board with Corey, see where Corey's at. And War Boys is rolling, so you might be, no he's not, sorry, that's Barella. And we're going to say that Corey has got the jump on him again.
Yeah, Corey just seems a little bit more efficient in the pit stops than Blake at this point.
So looking like another gap here of 3 seconds though. And where's Dengate? And Mcfarlane setting the fastest lap. That last lap by, the 1:19.01. So that would also explain why he jumped 3 seconds in front of him. That's a cracking lap time, that is.
Yeah, probably knowing that Blake's pitted and he's just put the bit between his teeth and he's just gone on with it. And yeah, that's a great lap. That's got him the lead again.
Absolutely. Might just go back, have a quick look where Dengate's up to. So they've gone another lap again. I'll just have a quick look at that strategy these boys are running up at the front at the moment. So they're both pretty much 2 laps difference. Dengate's 2 laps less than what Whiting was. So these boys will be thinking about pitting soon, one would imagine. Young keeping Michael Whiting honest, only 0.6 seconds behind. And of course, Dengate goes into the pits. And Whiting and Young continue on. So of course, we've still got 46 laps to go here. So after 54 laps, these boys will be starting to feel a bit fatigued, I reckon.
Oh, without a doubt. But in saying that, Blake's just laid down a 1:19.017, so only 6/1000 slower than Corey's fastest lap. So it just goes to show you that both of these boys have got good speed in them cars.
Oh, absolutely, doing very well. Let me have a quick look here. Errol Shannon is off the track there. Not sure where he's going. He's going to the skid pan. Okay.
Probably more fun.
Yep. We might jump back to the actual racing. So Michael Whiting. It's pulled away a little bit now from Paul Young behind him. Maybe by a little bit. And another car off in the background there. Not sure who that was. I think that was Warren Davis.
I did hear a call.
Yeah. Surely this time in. No. Going to continue on. Both of them. So Fishy Motorsports, Michael Whiting doing a really good job here. It'll be interesting to see because the battle he's really racing with is with Jamie McKnight and Harrison Dengate, who were both sitting back in 8th and 9th respectively. I'm interested to see how this strategy plays out, bearing in mind that their last stop will probably be quite short compared to those that have pitted earlier. And that's Whiting heading in. What's Youngie going to do? Youngie's gone with him. Chasty's gone. And that will mean our new race leader will be Corey Mcfarlane.
Yeah, I think Jamie's got him covered comfortably. Even Harrison, I think, should be okay to have these covered, depending how much fuel the boys put in.
Let's just have a quick look. McKnight's definitely got past him. Dengate's definitely gone through. Young's only just rolling out now. So yeah, they've definitely had a good result.
No, Michael Whiting's clipped the ripple strip on the way out of the pits and gone off track.
Oh no. Let's have a... That's a bit disappointing for him.
Very uncharacteristic of Michael. That's that fatigue you were talking about, creeping in.
Absolutely. Got to be very careful. And just bear with me for a minute. Just had SDK decide to play games on me. And that's back, I think. Okay, I'll just quickly check something. Just bear with me for a minute. No, I've lost my pit strategies. Unfortunately, I've just had SDK have a little hernia on me, but that's all right. I've got a rough idea where everybody's at. So,
Chris Island's off track for the second time in a couple of laps.
Look what happened to Chris. Looks like he's just missed the corner there.
I think the previous one was him and Damien Johnson battling. So, I think there was a few panels rubbed, but from looking at it, I feel like Damien had the right to be there. So.
So Warboys is now 1.8 seconds behind Mcfarlane. You can see Mcfarlane in the foreground there.
Yeah, Corey's showing some really good speed on this in this stint. He's not letting Blake make the ground up that he was in the previous stint.
Yeah, getting some good footage of the side of the car now. I just had the wrong camera earlier, I think. Of course, Michael Whiting's come back out in 11th. He's battling with Adam Haynes. So Adam's now worked his way up into the top 10. It's a great drive from the rear grid. Looking for the move. He's going to get it done. I think so. Nice pass there by Michael Whiting. Of course, the other little battle we've got, someone's just gone off in the background there. Looks like Chris Hyland's had an incident. We'll just go to that.
Yeah, he's had another lock up. I'm sure he's feeling very frustrated at the moment.
Yeah, just going around. I'm a bit frustrated too. Timmy Nichols from Becky Performance. What happened to Timmy? Coming down into turn 1. And oops, up the inside there of Andrew Ritchie. Could be a little bit of this fatigue we're talking about earlier starting to creep in with a few of these guys.
Oh, we've done 61 laps, and that's a lot of brain processing power to get around here.
I know I was cooked in vets by this stage, so we only did 67 laps. A great drive by Chasty here, keeping Paul Young honest. course, both these guys are part of the Banter Alliance between PRA and MU Racing. So they're not really teammates, but they're sort of. Of course.
So whoever's in front has seniority.
No, in the Banter Alliance, Dave Baldock has seniority. You haven't heard from Dave.
How could I forget that one?
Exactly. No further action for the incident between Chris Island and Damien Johnston on lap 57. Dengate's stopped. What was going on there? What's happened to Harrison? Nothing showing up. All I've got is, I'd say he's blown an engine. How disappointing.
We've got the safety car coming onto the track.
Oh, heartbroken for Harrison. He was doing very well tonight.
Yeah, that's a real shame for Harrison. I'm sure he'll be sitting in the car very frustrated.
Now, of course, we're only on lap 63, so too early to have a drink to get it home. I estimate that would need to be at least about lap 72. Mcfarlane's going in for a splash. Poor boys has followed him in. Probably a good move. So it'll be interesting to see what these other boys do. Haynes in, Daly's in, Perella's in, Todd Hayne is in. About to see what happens here. Damien Johnson staying out, McKnight staying out. And these boys now picking up Richie Barella. Now safety car. Some labour rounds happening now.
Now we're in for some spicy racing with Damien Johnson, Jamie McKnight having Corey and Blake right behind them.
And still some lap traffic going past. But it's still gas being sorted out here. as we roll around. So we might just take the moment. We might actually find out what happened with Harrison. We might drag him up. Actually, no, we might drag up Blake. See how it's going. And try again. No. Blake Warboys, how are you, mate? Under the safety car, how's it going?
Yeah, not bad, not bad. Cruising around.
Cruising around. You're showing a fair bit of pace tonight, mate. You and Corey are going toe to toe. This has been quite good racing, mate.
Yeah, didn't really expect to have the pace that I've got, to be honest. Yeah, I'll be keeping this setup up my sleeve for later on. But yeah, no, it's good to finally have some good race pace up against Corey, even in quali. I think I've definitely closed the gap up to Corey now, which is good.
Yep.
So yeah, I was trucking along to be having a good battle with him there, but safety car will make things interesting now.
Yeah, probably will. And you're not too worried with that stop, like the other two boys in front of you staying out on track?
No, not too worried. Should be able to get the drive off the corner. They'll be on a lot older tyres, so we should be able to just drive off. Yeah, should be able to just drive off the corner and go up the inside, so it shouldn't be too bad. Corey's pretty good at picking the gaps, so basically following through, and yeah, then we'll have a ding-dong battle for the rest of the race, I think.
No worries, mate. We'll send you downstairs.
No worries.
Thanks for having a chat.
Too easy.
So we got one more lap under the safety car. Blake was pretty optimistic there about getting past Damien Johnson and Jamie McKnight. Not sure it's going to be as easy as he kind of thought it was, but anyway, I'm here to be educated.
These young Blakes with their optimism.
I mean, I understand what he's saying, but this place is not as simple as that.
No,
like
no, exactly. I agree. I don't know if I've looked for those two. I don't know if I would have ducked in for that pit stop either, knowing that you've still got to have one more stop.
Yeah, it does place you in a. Places you in a situation that you may not want to be in, trying to get past cars who are fast in their own right, which gives the opportunity for you to make a mistake or them to make a mistake. So yeah, it's going to be an interesting final 35 laps.
Oh, definitely. And of course, there's that other adage saying that safety cars breed safety cars. So just to recap, we've got Damien Johnson in first spot, Jamie McKnight in second, Corey Mcfarlane third, Warboys in fourth, Michael Whiting in fifth, James Chastaneef in sixth, Paul Young in seventh as Richie Barella pulls away here. And then the round out the top 10, we've got Andrew Ritchie, Tim Nichols and Chris Ireland. Let's see if Richie can put this away properly. It's not the easiest pit entry. He was out doing some practice before. Gets the job done. Well, let's see. When do we peel off? First turn or second turn? And we're away. Green flag racing. A great little start from Damien Johnson here. He's pulled out already a nice little gap of 0.7 seconds. Jamie McKnight under all sorts of pressure from Corey Mcfarlane behind. We might jump back to our championship leader. Warboys nicely tucked in with Whiting behind. And Corey trying to get it done already on McKnight. Not the easiest pass to try and pull up overtake.
And this I was saying, like, this can be, you know, real danger time for these guys, because one mistake, you take the driver out in front, and then all of a sudden you're trundling down pit lane.
Mcfarlane right up under. This time having a look up the inside. See if we can get it done through turn 1 and 2. Warboy's now having a look as Mcfarlane gets the job done, going through Honda down into Nissan. Whoop, bit loose there for Michael Whiting. It's allowed Chastity to come through on him. So Chastity up the inside there in the background. And Corey now showing some good legs as he's catching up very quickly onto the back of Damien Johnson in front.
Like, are we just watching Corey etch away in front?
Look, McKnight goes off. Unbelievable. Jamie McKnight loses control into turn 1. It's allowed Warboys through. He's now under pressure from Whiting and Chastanoof. Chasty's through on Whiting. Whiting under all sorts of pressure now from Paul Young.
Unusual mistake there from Jamie, but showed all his experience to only drop the one spot.
Unlike most of us, can keep it straight on the grass. These blokes having a ding-dong battle here. And McFarlane, we might have to jump back up there because Damien Johnson's now under pressure. So Corey McFarlane's now caught up to Damien. Sideways coming out of 2. Now we might just jump back to that Paul Young, Michael Whiting battle. These boys are all still fairly bunched up here. Of course, Adam Haynes moved up into 11th at the back of this group.
Corey setting a new fastest lap the previous lap with a 1:18.955, so he's not leaving anything out there.
Nah, definitely not. That's a cracking lap. And here comes Corey in the Honda. Gets the job done. Championship leader back into P1.
Sure, Blake would have been hoping for a few more laps with Damien in front, but it is what it is now, and now it's up to Blake to get back towards the rear of Corey.
He's catching up to him quickly. Chris Island just gets his way past Andrew Ritchie. He loses another spot, back to 11th. Which I think Andrew Ritchie's been involved in an incident. Might have a quick look there. Go to the tailor-made replay. Oh. And Roy Clark might have been involved in that one as well. We might go back to live pictures. So Mcfarlane leading that. Warboys now pushing up onto Johnston. Holy heck. Sorry, I've just it's been a bit of a windstorm go through Goulburn and there's an aircraft on its roof. Anyway. And Warboys gets past Damien Johnson. Great effort there.
No connection with Michael Dumbrell not racing tonight and the plane on the roof?
No, Michael plays with the big toys. Looks like a Cessna 152. Anyway.
Interesting fact of the night so far is Damien Johnson has set the fastest lap of the race of a 1:18.954, which is a thousandth of a second quicker than what Corey did.
That is cracking. Yes, the talent pool at SSR is quite deep.
Oh, most definitely, but it just goes to show you that once Damien had a clear track in front of him, he did have the pace in the car.
Mm. So it's a 1.6 second lead Corey Mcfarlane has on Warboys at the moment. And we've still got another round of pit stops to go. It's going to get very interesting. I think the Warboys and Mcfarlane will be for a splash and dash. 16, who's that? Luke Holland. Luke Holland is a long way off the track there. There's someone else there with him, I'm not sure who that is. So it looks like there's been a bit of a tangle. And they've got it going. And Jamie McKnight's under pressure now from Michael Whiting.
Yeah, Michael and Jamie on the same strategy. James Chastanet in fourth has pitted 3 times, so he's going to have a splash and dash. So James is looking like he has a chance of getting on the podium tonight.
It's another stellar drive from Chasty. Chasty's been one of the big improvers this season, I think.
Yeah, James a great driver, great guy as well. Yeah, and he should have a significantly shorter stop than Damien, I'm thinking. So if he can put in some good lap times now and not let Damien create any more space, he's a chance of jumping him in the pit stops. Sure, Damien's got one of the 200 employees with an Excel spreadsheet looking at the lap times and where he needs to be with all them that huge array of drivers and statisticians and tacticians at SSR.
Big shout out to Jordan Ross. It's great to see SSR supporting the series. As I was saying before, season 3 starting soon, so if you want to get involved, now's a good opportunity to put your hand up. Warboys is now just under a second behind Mcfarlane, so he's starting to close that gap up again as well. Blake's last lap of 1:19.37. No further action between the incident between Sean Rigby and Joe Daly on lap 57. Oh, Corey! Hit the curb there the wrong way, lost control, managed to collect it.
Sure that lit the eyes up of both drivers for different reasons.
It just shows their skill level, doesn't it? The fact he was able to hang on to that. And now it's put Smallboy's right up the back of Mcfarlane. Only 0.35's the gap now. And they both peel off into the pits together. So we've got a good old-fashioned pit stop battle. No time lost at this stage. And Michael Whiting and Paul Young have come in as well. So our race leader at the moment is Damien Johnson. Chasty's in second. Cairns is in third. Fourth is Adam Haynes. Timmy Nichols is fifth. Todd Hayne is sixth. So we might just stay with this battle here. First man rolling out.
Corey's off the track and Blake has taken the lead.
And bloody camera didn't jump on me. Oh no, he has too. I've missed that. It's came back on track. I'll just see if I can get a replay of that. He's come out in traffic. He's been given a slight little tap. I'm not sure who it was in there. It might have been Sean Rigby, I think. Wow.
Yeah, I'm not sure Sean did anything wrong there. It was just kind of a collision of... because Corey did clip the curb, which took him out into the path of Sean.
Yeah.
Oh, that happened because Corey was, trying desperately to get out in front and create a small gap.
It's not the easiest place to come out of the pits. And that definitely shows. The same thing happened to me with Hazy in the vets. In the vets with 3 race on Thursday night. Cracking battle in the background there between Chastity, I think it was. Well, this will test the mettle of our championship leader. Of course, these boys back in 4th and 5th. Damien Cairns is in. Yep.
The big losers in that run of pit stops is Jamie McKnight and Damien Johnson, who were 3rd and 5th on the road, are now down in 14th and 16th.
Yeah, that was my worry with that strategy of staying out.
I definitely, especially when everybody else had pitted. So, but once you make that decision, you can't undecide it. Unfortunately,
no, that's exactly right. But still a long way to play out here. As Warboys has now done an 18.85.
Yeah, that's the fastest lap of the race by some margin, and yeah, he's really laying down the rubber at the moment. Corey driving very aggressively, and I'm not sure that this is the track you want to be doing that. Shout out to James Chastaneuf at the moment, sitting in 3rd place. Stellar drive.
Well, you did call that about 5 laps ago. He's got a bit of airtime behind him. He's 2 seconds ahead of Rigby. And puts him about 2.5 seconds, I think, ahead of Paul Young. So I think Rigby's still got another stop. And he peels off. So the pit stops are just about shaken out now. We've got Warboys 2 seconds up the road from Mcfarlane. He's 4 seconds up the road from Chastaneuf. He's 4 seconds up the road from Paul Young. Damien Cairns is sitting in 5th. Michael Whiting is in 6th. Adam Hayne, starting rear of grids, worked his way up into the top 10 in 7th. Chris Ireland in 8th. Damien Johnson 9th. And Warren Davis from PRA rounding out the top 10. So that's a fairly cracking battle there from those boys. Of course, Damien Johnson, who led us off under the safety car, battling away.
What a great drive from Damien Cairns, currently in 5th place, up 5 spots. That's Great work.
Of course, waving the flag and leading home the Taipan boys. And Damien Johnson now with Chris Island in his sights. We might just cross back up the wall, boys. Just keep an eye on that. Mcfarlane's closed the gap a little bit now to 1.9.
There's nothing in their lap times. You can't split them at the moment. There's thousandths and hundredths of a second in their lap times at the moment.
Of course, our current championship holder with our championship elect chasing him down.
Looking at the attitude of Corey's car, he's not happy about being in second place.
It's all about that rhythm, isn't it? You got to adjust yourself, get yourself back in your rhythm and get rid of the red mist as quick as possible and get on with it. Easier said by us 50-year-old blokes sitting here in the comm box versus a 17-year-old, 18-year-old.
Yeah, I've never had the red mist descend. No, well, it's not really affecting his lap times. They're really kind of lapping at the same pace at the moment. So this one is all for Blake to lose at the moment with 16 laps remaining.
Yep. We might just have a quick look back through. So Paul Young, he's got Damien Cairns second behind him. 4 seconds behind, 4.5 seconds behind Chastity in front. Good drive by Youngie to be there and abouts again. Michael Whiting, he's running around in 6th.
What a drive from Adam Hayne, up 17 spots around Winton. That's a great drive.
Just a bit of paintwork on the side, so it definitely hasn't been all his own way.
Well, you got to fight for every inch of ground on this track.
Oh yeah. Damien Johnson still hunting down Chris Island in front of him, 9.35 seconds. This is probably our closest battle on track at the moment.
Of course, these two rubbed panels early in the race when Damien snuck up the inside.
Well, 15 laps to go. Wouldn't be surprised if he tries to sneak up the inside again. course, got Jamie McKnight lurking in the background there, waiting for any of the crumbs. And that War Boys is now out to a 2.4 second lead. And Mcfarlane, he might go back to Paul Young. He's having a great battle with Damien Cairns behind him. That gap's only out to less than a second. Damien Johnson's closed that gap now to 0.3 or less.
Yeah, he's definitely harassing Chris Ireland. He's flashing the lights. He's trying to get inside Chris's head at the moment.
Both of them using all of the rope. Great little battle these boys got going on.
Yeah, it's probably not the thing Chris wants after 88 laps at Winton to have Damien Johnson fill in his mirrors.
We might just go quickly check on the Michael Whiting battle. So he's still battling away with Damien Cairns in front of him. So this is the battle for 5th and 6th.
Good recovery from Michael after losing a handful of spots going off track.
And then just looking at the other tight battle on track at the moment, Timmy Nichols from Pecky Performance Racing is definitely, camera change, Definitely keeping Andrew Archer honest here. He's only 0.4 behind him. So this, of course, is the battle for 14 and 15. Always turn out a good-looking car, the boys at Pecky's.
Yeah, they've got a great looking livery, and Timmy's doing a great job. And it just goes to show you, it's as tough for 1 and 2 as it is for 15 and 16. It's tough racing right through the field.
Yeah, definitely not easy. And Chris Island again. Go back to the TV camera. Damien Johnson's on the charge again. This gap's close back down to under 0.3. Oh, he's cooked it. Managed to gather it up. Yep.
That was a good save.
Oh, that was a bloody good save. And of course, that's allowed Chris Island to get away. Get away with a second and a half. We've got Damien Cairns and Michael Whiting still battling away. This gap's about 0.6. I'm just going to jump on with the ball boys here. This gap's just closed about half a second in the last lap. So I might just keep a bit of an eye on what's going on with our race leader.
Yeah, well, that last lap, Corey's taken half a second out of Blake's lead, so Corey's still got the pedal to the metal. Not sure if Blake made a mistake or not.
Doesn't look like there's been that traffic involved, so yeah, interesting to see what's going on as we're down to the last 9 laps. Well, boys,
No, Blake's off track.
Let's let Corey through. Don't be happy about that one, but anyway.
What a shame for Blake. He would be fuming inside his rig at the moment.
If the camera was working, we'd be able to tell, wouldn't we?
Maybe that's why he sabotaged it.
Half a second gap we got here. Definitely going to let Corey walk away with it though. Getting this gap down to 0.3. Shows the nose just to let Corey know he's there. Oh. Definitely nothing in it between these two guys, Mark.
No, it's nose to tail, and it's really going to be if somebody blinks here, if somebody just makes one small braking error, then the other's going to be all over it. And we saw a slight chink in the armour of Corey Mcfarlane tonight, but Blake wasn't able to capitalise so far.
Of course, 5 laps to go.
Got some lap traffic in front now, which will be interesting to see how this plays out.
And of course, we've got Luke Holland and Roy Clark then in a battle themselves. Nicely gets out of the way. That was Luke. Clarky gets out of the way as well. Thank you, Roy.
Yeah, great driving from both them drivers then.
Corey getting a little bit better drive out of the final corner.
Yeah, Blake made a slight mistake coming out of the final turn and just gave Corey that little bit of breathing space. Panels and brakes locking in the background there.
Yeah, that was Luke Holland. I think we might quickly go to the tailor-made replay. He's already off on the grass. There's someone in front of him. Yeah, that's him and Roy Clark doing a nice little tango together.
Luke showing some good sportsmanship and redressing that position without being asked to.
Good to see. Of course, these two boys showing some very clean heels from James Chastanoof back in third. This is 7.5 seconds down the road. He's 7.5 seconds ahead of Banter Alliance teammate Paul Young. And then Michael Whiting back in fifth. Adam Haynes started rear of grid, has worked his way up now into 6th, which is a cracking effort. And then out of the other rear of grid starters, Joe Daly's in 11th, Todd Haynes in 12th. There's some fairly tidy results as well.
Yeah, that's a stellar drive from Adam Hayne, up 18 spots on a track that there's virtually zero passing opportunities. You're really relying on the guy in front of you to make a small error so it opens the door up for you around here.
Blake now tucking back up again under the rear wing. We're going to hopefully really only going to have 2 laps for him to have a crack at this.
Yeah, these two are so evenly matched with pace. I just can't see anything changing unless Corey makes a mistake at the moment. Blake certainly not settling for second at this stage.
No, just thinking that. Definitely going to make Corey earn it. As we start the white flag lap. Only got 10 corners left to try and get the job done.
Well, these two boys have put on a really great battle tonight. Like there's been nothing in their lap times. They've been so even.
It's been a stellar performance by both of them. It's Corey Mcfarlane takes first, Blake Rawboys second, half a second between them. Then comes in third, James Chastaneef, great drive by Chasty. And next man down the road's Paul Young. It's a nice 4th spot for Paul Young, Michael Whiting home in 5th. 6th is going to be Damien Cairns, Chris Island in 7th, Jamie McKnight. A little bit of a battle here. Jamie's going to get it home in 8th. Adam Hayne in 9th. Damien Johnston's got it home in 10th. Joe Daly 11, Toddy Hayne in 12th. Great effort for starting here at grid. And I think he's home. Here he is. The spinners in the background. Andrew Archer. Ash Barella up into 14th. That's a nice drive from Ash. Andrew Ritchie 15. Rigby 16. That, Mark, was a cracker of a race.
It certainly was. All the boys head straight to the skid pan. Boys and their toys, I guess.
Yep.
Yeah, cracking race. Great drive again from Corey. Blake will be thinking that's the one that got away, which it was. He had the opportunity to take that win and just one mistake all night, and it cost him the lead.
Yep. Yeah, you can't afford to make a mistake, as they say.
Yep, James Chesternoff on the podium. What a great drive from James. Solid drive from Paul Young. Michael Whiting did well to recover after having an earlier off and losing a handful of places. So it's a good recovery from Michael to get back to 5th. Great drive from Damien Cairns. Chris Island held his nerve and finished in 7th. Jamie McKnight jumped up a few spots at the end there because I think Damien must have had an off in his battle with Chris Island because he's dropped a few spots.
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly what happened there, but yeah, he's definitely off a little bit. It was cracking speed though, this show. Like, he did have some very fast lap times in there with he was the one who got another one who got into the 118s with the 118.95.
Yeah, that's right. And it just goes to show you when you've got guys of this quality in front of you, it's very difficult to pass. Even though you might have the speed in the car, you really, really got to work your butt off to get a move made around here. So, yeah, there was some great racing right throughout the field, and I'm sure after 100 laps of Winton, the boys will be glad probably not to see it for a little while.
Absolutely. And we might bring in our third place getter, James Chastity. Chasty, congratulations on third, mate.
Cheers, thanks for that, guys.
It looked like it was a tough drive out there.
Yeah, it's a long way. It's pretty good to have a lot of space at the end there that I could just tour it around and get it home. Which made it a bit easier. I know poor Paul behind me was trying to fend off, so I was glad to be in the position I was rather than his.
Yeah, I'd probably say that you've done very well.
Yeah, yeah, the strategy sort of worked out pretty well for us. I got to go and have a look at my start because I reckon I had probably one of the best launches I've ever had, and then the secondary part just wheel spin, and I just bottled the whole thing. So don't know exactly what I did, but I think I dropped back to like about 10th or something. So yeah, to get back onto third, yeah, that was pretty good.
Yeah. Anyone you want to give a shout out to, mate?
Yeah, shout out to the team. Shout out to Paul who did a little bit of what's the word? Team management, driver swap. I can't really think of what it's called. So thanks to Paul. I'll probably have to repay that another time when he's a bit faster than me and behind. And all the sponsors: Locked On iRacing, Bay21 Coffee, EMU Sim Racing, Banter Alliance, PRA, LGC Images. Yeah, thanks guys, and thanks to you for covering the whole thing. And staying awake. I'm not sure what the total time was on that race, but yeah, it's not something I want to be either commentating or race controlling. Definitely, it's 2 hours 20 minutes. So yeah, good job, guys. Well done.
Look, Ben had a really easy job tonight.
Yeah, well, sometimes it makes it harder if there's nothing to do.
It was a great drive. Your pit strategy was spot on. I was surprised to see Damien and Jamie stay out, and yeah, it was kind of that really kind of folded their race once everybody else pitted.
Yeah, it was an interesting restart because I knew I definitely wouldn't have had the pace to get Corey or Blake, but they pitted on the safety car as well, so there wasn't really any advantage. But I knew Damien would have charged away, so I wasn't sure how long the difference in refueling was going to be. So I thought, okay, let's try and minimize that, and then just battled my way through Michael and Jamie to get as close as I could to him. But it was it worked out really well anyway. So it was just a little bit of extra space, but probably didn't really need to sort of risk it and push that much in the end. But it was good to get some passes done on this track because it's a bit tricky to do.
Mm.
Yeah, well done, mate.
Yeah, cheers, guys.
And we'll bring in our second place getter. Blake, congratulations on P2, mate. Hello, Blake. Congratulations on P2, mate.
Thank you. Thank you.
Looked like it was a tough night in the office.
Oh, yeah. Tough night, long night, however you want to call it.
Definitely long, definitely tough. Feel like it might have been one that got away from you.
Yeah, definitely. Just went into that corner in fifth instead of fourth.
Yeah, it was the only mistake you made all night and it cost you the lead, eh?
Yeah, pretty disappointed with myself over that, but good to know that I've bridged the gap to Corey now with race pace and quali. So overall, quite happy. Love the track. Probably a bit over it now after doing so many laps. But yeah, I could just drive the car like I could drive my go-kart, which is quite good. A lot of roll time, a lot of using the front tyre to help the car brake and turn. Instead of relying on the rear to sort of help the car go around.
Mm.
So yeah.
Are you saying Winton's a go-kart track?
Yeah, it's just a big go-kart track to me.
Yeah, well, you had the fastest lap of the race, 1:18.848, which was a tenth and a bit more faster than Corey's fastest lap. So yeah, you definitely had great speed tonight, and your lap times were both kind of a tenth, not even a tenth, a thousandth, a couple of hundredths. It was on between both yous, and yeah, it was just a shame you only made that one slight error.
Yeah, we're both very close with our times all night. Definitely, I think strategy played a little bit. But then he obviously got that small bump, which gave me the lead. And then, my small mistake gave him back the lead. Definitely gave him my all to get back past, but it's such a tight track, and it really relies on the rear tyre to get off the corner to have that good run. So he just put the car in the right spot, propped me at the right times. He drove a great race, and it was great fun, great battle.
No, that's good, mate. And anyone you want to give a shout out to?
First of all, to the WK&P Sim Sports team, another good night. Harry had a bit of bad luck. First time I've heard of someone putting a hole in the fuel tank and running out of fuel. That's a first for me. The Wodonga Carts and Parts, LGK Carts Australia, WK&P Race Engines, everyone that's tuned in for the night, and you two guys for another great broadcast.
No worries, mate. Thanks. And
cheers, Blake. Well done.
Thank you.
And we might bring in our race winner, Corey Mcfarlane. Corey, congratulations on P1, mate.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, glad that's over.
Sounds like a tough night in the office.
Yeah, it's pretty frustrating. Blake definitely had pace over me across the whole race. So it was weird because like on fresh tyres you would catch me a fair bit, and then be like midway throughout the stint, I felt like tyres came back a fair bit, and I was able to catch a little, and then towards the last part you just speed away again.
Yeah. No, it just definitely looked like his boys were running about the same pace, and it was sort of came down to the minute little mistakes, really.
Yeah, it was definitely super easy to make a mistake around here, being so short, and you have to be so precise. Because if you don't get the curb at say turn 1, it's pretty well 2/10 gone there. So it's a tough track, but it's pretty good. I expected like lap traffic to be a lot worse than it was. So yeah,
Yep.
pretty lucky with all that.
Yeah, it must have been pretty mentally taxing to do 100 laps around here, because you don't get any rest anywhere on the track at all.
Yeah, I don't have to I don't enjoy long races, but I've been able to do like a couple hours without too much of an issue. And yeah, being in the Discord with Send it's definitely no rest there. Always good jokes going around and shit. So yeah, keeps you on your toes.
No worries. Anyone you want to give a shout out to, mate?
Yeah, I'd like to thank everyone at Send Sim Sports, Hobbs Trenching and Boring, PPS, Sydney Computers, AJ Insurance, Transform Media, Pixel Blocks, Clayton Davies Cinematography, and 27 Designs. And all you blokes that are streaming the races and ones that organise them also. Yeah, big thanks to you guys.
No worries. Thanks, mate. And boys, next week we're off to Road Atlanta for 2 times 25 lap races, so 2 sprint races. What are your thoughts going from an enduro to a sprint?
Couldn't give a shit what track it is, just as long as it's a sprint.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I'm sure it'll be good fun. Big draft, so hopefully the racing stays close, and yeah, there'll be no doubt good battles all throughout the field.
Looking forward to it. And any last words from anybody?
Yeah, probably same thing. Just looking forward to a sprint, but probably be over the track by Tuesday after doing scops as well. So, I'll bring it on. Should be good.
Bring it on. No worries. On that note, I'll say good night to everybody, and we are back next week at the same time for round 15 from Road Atlanta. And a big thanks to Mark, and a big thanks to all you boys for putting on another good show.
Yeah, cheers, guys. Thanks.
Cheers, John.
Thanks,
Thanks to the drivers. Looking forward to some short, sharp racing next week.
All right, so I'll see you all then.